right, babies, it's that time again. Oh, yeah. Today we're going to talk about desire. Oh, yeah. I remember when I first came across the Buddhist teaching of that the root of suffering is desire. And I was like, that's the stupidest thing ever. And the reason I thought that was, because some desires are good. I want to help you. Is that desire to do that the root of suffering? No. But then once I got the sense of what they're talking about, it was like, okay, I would have said it differently. Because there is a difference, right? And like all truth, all things that have to do with God, there's always a paradox. So there's a good desire, there's a bad desire. So we want to talk about the negative aspects of desire to start off with. And the reason why that's on my mind is because yesterday I was put in an unexpected position to activate my best patient self. I failed miserably because I thought something was already taken care of, and it wasn't, and it just it really set me off because I had done a lot to make sure everything was taken care of. Come to find out, I wasn't given the right information, and so my expectations were based on what I was given, and it just turned out to be not the case. So in that sense, we kind of set ourselves up for that because there's something that we want or expect to occur. And that's a trouble area, clearly. Because it just sent me into a tailspin, and I couldn't really recover very well. The rest of the day, I was just kind of in a funk because I'd kind of lost myself in that moment and couldn't get back. I just was like, wow. Because I was so troubled by my own inability to deal with it. I was kind of like, what is wrong? So, yeah, we set ourselves up for stuff like that. Now, other things that are not so orchestrated, or so to speak, is just the overall expectation of how you want the day to go. You want to have a good day, you want to enjoy yourself, you want it to run smoothly. So that's fine, except that if it doesn't, then we have to have things in place to deal with what occurs. Which is kind of what I think is behind the Bible phrase of the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Meaning, God's going to take care of me. He's not going to leave me, by the roadside forever. He might do it for several hours. Or maybe a couple of days, but not forever. There's something to be learned there. Kind of like the book of Job. So for most of my life, I've found the ability to really pump the brakes on expecting everything to go well. Now, the paradox there is I do expect everything to go well, but not the way I would like it to go well. In other words, I usually have the experience that when interruptions occur, inconveniences, challenges, I'm ready, for the most part, I'm ready for those, and I submit myself in the moment to the Spirit of God to have His mind and His heart of how to deal with the thing to help whoever's involved, even if it's only me. Normally, I can do that. So, you have to have the balance of recognizing what you really want is the same thing that God wants, which is God wants us to grow in our patience and trust and sorry for the noise of the car. It'll be going away soon. In 2 weeks I'll have a new car, but right now it's noisy. Maybe if I pump the brake there for a second, that might help a little bit. Not really. So the ultimate desire is what God wants. And God wants us to be stronger, more effective, more loving, more patient. So in that sense, I'm nurturing the right desire. The red flag for me is when I get out of sorts. And that way I know I've lost my overall perspective, and now I'm looking more at a temporal circumstance as opposed to an ultimate eternal development. Oh yeah. So that's that. So yeah, I just wish, like, you know, when people say these like witticisms, like, you know, suffering is desire is the root of all suffering. I mean, can you say something a little more nuanced? Because when you say something so categorical like that and it doesn't really work, then it's bad PR for your position. And I think there's enough positive things going on in Buddhism that you don't need that kind of bad PR. In fact, there's many things across spiritual traditions, I think, that are valuable. Like the stuff I've been mentioning are all things you would hear advocated in a variety of spiritual traditions, not just Christianity, or even in constructs that are atheistic. You know, I love saying that some of the most Christian people I've ever met are atheists, and by that I mean their behavior is admirable. That's all I'm saying. So we want to be admirable so that we create greater and greater ways of living that reach beyond all of our self-imposed bubbles. And when we do that, we'll find ourselves more useful, to each other and to God. And we better be ready to change our definition and understanding of who God is and who we are